Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Black Logic. So the U.S. Justice Department Office of Inspector General has criticized the decision to subpoena phone and email records of members of Congress and their staff during President Trump's first term. This action was part of an investigation into leaks of classified information regarding Trump's campaign and alleged Russian interference in 2016 election. The report expressed concerns that such subpoenas could hinder congressional oversight and create an appearance of inappropriate interference, potentially affecting the work of Congress. Although the investigation found no political motives behind the subpoenas, it highlighted the delicate balance between national security investigations and the preservation of democratic institutions. Now, no one sees any political toy that can benefit any political party. They haven't found any information that can do that. It states that the report expressed concerns that such subpoenas could hinder congressional oversight and create an appearance of inappropriate interference, potentially affecting the work of Congress. How so? They're just going to subpoena records. You guys are going to offer those records, and then they're going to read those records to see if anything foul occurred during President-elect Donald Trump's first term. That's what that's about. It kind of reminds me of all of the files the CIA allegedly burned. The CIA has burned thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of files to hide the fact two major missions that the CIA had allegedly curated and carried out. One was the infusion of crack cocaine in the Black community. Two, harboring, supporting, and allowing Nazi war criminals, over 10,000 Nazi war criminals, to seek refuge in America and support them and help them to go to other countries around the world. All because we have all of this secret squirrel sort of things. Now, granted, if an active mission is going on in the tail for the betterment of American national security, of course the public shouldn't know. But things that are pertaining to us, the American people, and what's going on in our government, then yeah, those things should be definitely revealed. And I think they should. And I think there should. President-elect Donald Trump's selection of Florida lawmakers of key cabinet positions have set off a political chain reaction in the state, with Senator Marco Rubio top for Secretary of State and Representative Matt Gaetz and Mike Waltz nominated for Attorney General and National Security Advisor. So basically all the politicians in Florida are grabbing for power in this new Senate seat. So they have all of these people running for the seat now. But Donald Trump has already put out who essentially he wants in those seats, let alone the positions he offered Matt Gaetz that he, eventually declined. So there's a power vacuum in Florida right now. There's a power vacuum. It's going to get filled. Hopefully it's with the right person. The National Football League, alongside the Justice Department and the FBI, is urging Congress to expand authority to detect and mitigate drone threats over stadiums. So basically what's been going on in a lot of these NFL games, people have been flying drones. So we know two major countries, and I'm not trying to give you guys conspiracy theories, but again, if there's smoke, there's fire. If there's dots, you have to connect them. China and Russia. Who do we have a relationship with? China and Russia, who last year was supposedly and allegedly using spy balloons to map the United States of America. And it has some sort of technology to detect certain sizes and, locate. And again, this is allegedly based on the technology, if there's something underground or not. Not necessarily knowing what it is, didn't have x-ray, but detecting if something was more than a certain, feet below Earth's surface. So again, and then we're gonna get into some other things too, because these connections are important. And I'm not alluding to anything, but I kind of want your creative thoughts, to again be generating so you understand what I'm getting at. Now, this particular one, the Social Security Administration has warned that political disputes over funding might cause delays in payments to beneficiaries. Oh, you don't want to pay people their money. Okay. It stated that the SSA is requesting additional funds to maintain essential staff, but some lawmakers are refusing to approve the budget increase. So you won't increase the budget for Social Security, but you will increase the budget to Ukraine. You will increase the budget for illegal immigration. You will increase the budget to support all of these foreign wars. That's what you increase the budget for. Okay. That result in a hiring freeze as of November 21st. This standoff is part of a larger conflict in Congress over the 1.4 trillion Social Security spending, which accounts for 21% of the federal budget. If no additional funds are approved by March, the SSA could lose over 2,000 employees through attrition, worsening customer service and processing delays. You mean to tell me that the Social Security Administration can have worse customer service? Okay. They can have worse customer service. And I know a lot of you probably had positive experiences dealing with government entities. And again, this is one of those questions I would like to raise by Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk coming into the fold. Will these make our system run better? Because essentially they're trying to streamline the government, cut the fat. All these redundant agencies that kind of do the same thing. America has the most law enforcement agencies than any other country. Just look at some of the law enforcement agencies we have. The CIA, the FBI, United States Marshal Service, the CPP, the Customs and Border Patrol, Homeland Security. I mean, the NSA, the National Security Agency. In the list, ATF, DEA. I can go on and on and on because of all the law enforcement. And when you look at it, if they even enact martial law, then you have the National Guard for the states. But you also have state troopers. Then not only do you have state troopers in your city that has jurisdiction, but you also have city cops. Then you have the sheriff. Then there are some county cops. And then there's some robo-cops. No, I'm kidding. But there's some flashlight cops at the security mall. But America is the most policed country. And I'm not saying that's essentially a bad thing. But all this money that's circulating in the government, you don't have enough for people to get paid their money, for you guys can have an efficient Social Security Administration? Is that what you're stating? Again, I'm just asking. Because it blows my mind the billions of dollars that we know go to foreign aid, to aid other countries, to support other countries. And again, I know there's some sort of special interest. It's either special interest or national security interest. Special interest can be anything, and mostly it has to deal with money. Then, of course, we know what the national security interest is. Because you and I are paying Social Security tax. So when we become elderly and we no longer work and it's a supplemental pay to our 401k or our severance package, whatever you have, that means someone's dipping in the Social Security fund. I'm tired of them year in, year out talking about, oh yeah, we don't know if Social Security is going to make it. The next generation is not going to have Social Security. You better have our money. You better have the American people money. You took the money out. Here's the thing. Don't even make it like it is an investment, even though we know you invest the money inside of the stock market. Don't even look at it as an investment. Whatever I put in, just give it to me back. That's all. That's fair, right? You want to give us more, but the money's just not there. Just at least give us what we put in. That's all I'm saying. In recent military action, Israel has targeted around 500 Syrian military assets over the past 2 days to prevent weaponry from falling to potential hostile hands following the collapse of President Bashar al-Assad. Key targets included naval vessels, missiles, drones, and military airfields in areas such as Latakia, El Beida Bay, and across Damascus. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu emphasized that the strikes aim to prevent threats to Israel's security and issued a stern warning against any Syrian regime allowing Iranian influence on transferring weapons to Hezbollah. Israel is in 3 wars at one time. They are in a war against Syria. They are at war against Hezbollah, which is, I believe, is located in Lebanon. So is Lebanon going to technically be involved? And then Palestine or Palestine. I don't get it. And guess who's funding that war, people? We are. Yeah, you know how you go to your government job? You know how you go to your private sector job? Whatever job you have, whether it's working outside or working inside on a computer. Don't you just love working for everybody else? And all the while your tax dollars are being taken from you and funding wars you have no idea why? They're fighting everybody. They're fighting Syria, Hezbollah, and Hamas. And those groups are out of Palestine, as well as Lebanon and now Syria. This is astronomical. So this is where the money is going. And again, I don't care if you voted Republican or Democrat. I don't care. Everybody should want the best for America and Americans. Because here's the thing, family. When Americans have a great economy, guess what decreases? Violence. Violence decreases because people have jobs, people are getting fair wages for fair work when you have a better economy. But if you notice, and again, consistently has been the Democratic Party. Consistently has been the Democratic Party that has just put an anchor on America, that has just slowed America down for this money-making beast that it is, where the American dream was always obtainable. But now we can't even give our seniors Social Security, but we can give people to fight other wars. 3 billions of dollars. Wow. That's unbelievable. Following the swift collapse of his regime in Syria, Syrian President Bashar al-Assad has fled to Russia, where he has been granted asylum. Russia's Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Romanov confirmed Assad's presence in Russia, stating that he is secure and the Russian acted appropriately in such an extraordinary situation. This development comes after rebels seized control of Damascus, ending Assad's family's 50-year rule. The situation in Syria remains volatile, with various factions vying for control. This is crazy. So his family and himself have been in rule for Syria for 50 years. And they said that he did all sorts of heinous acts. We're not going to even get in some of the acts that this former president was accused of. But what we will do, and again, not to get into conspiracy theories, Putin has granted Bashar al-Assad asylum in Russia. Now, who overthrew Russia? I believe there was a group called HMT or HMTS or something like that. But it was a rebel group. It was a jihadist group that took over Syria because they got tired of the dictatorship of the Syrian president and his family. Now, that's allegedly. Let's look at it a different way. So Vladimir Putin gives him asylum. Donald Trump has a connection to Vladimir Putin. Again, I'm not saying this in a negative way. We're just stating the facts. We know that Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump has a relationship. We don't know how weak, how strong, how meager. We don't know, but we know that they had a relationship where it kept the Russians at bay from starting the war with Ukraine the first time. So now we got Vladimir Putin, Bashar al-Assad, Donald Trump. We have all these different figures in the mix. So how did Syria get toppled and he had to flee to Russia? And Russia knew this because Russia sent missiles over to Syria to stop the rebels, but it didn't have no effect. Now Russia is fighting Ukraine, so they can't send any troops. Donald Trump should steer clear from this situation right here. See, a friend of a friend of a friend. No, a friend of a friend is my enemy. And I'm not stating that he should be enemies with the former president. I don't think he should touch this with a 1,000-foot pole. Because people want to make I'm telling you, conspiracy theorists, certain media news work, they're going to try to make a connection with Donald Trump, Putin, and this Syrian president. But this is something else you guys have to think about. Israel strikes Syria's navy. Wait a minute. Okay. So we are allies with Israel. Our president has a good relationship with the president of Russia. The Syrian former president, Bashar al-Assad, was evacuated to Russia for his safety because the regime overthrew him and Israel destroyed the navy. What is going on in the world? You see all these different connections because we support Israel. We've given Israel billions of dollars to fight their war on terrorism with Hamas, now Hezbollah, and now even Syria. That is why I'm stating that, and I'm pretty sure he's a smart guy, that he's not going to touch the situation at all. It shouldn't even be mentioned. This is Black Logic. You guys have a great and wonderful night. Thank you, Jermaine.